Hello everyone and welcome back to the Power BI playlist. I know it's been quite a while since I created the last session because I was not that well, so I took a little break and now I'm back. So I just want to give you a quick recap on what we studied in last few sessions. So yes, we have taken the interface tour of Power BI Desktop, Power BI Query Editor. Apart from that, we have also studied the modes of loading data into Power BI. We also studied in detail what are the different data sources that Power BI supports when it comes to loading the data in Power BI. And we also loaded a small CSV file, I guess, or an Excel file, and I showed you how does it look when we load the data. And so yes, these things we have already seen. Now, after you have loaded the data, what is the next step? The next step would be transforming the data. So that's what we are going to concentrate today. We are going to clean the data, we are going to prep the data before you actually start creating the reports, which is the main agenda of Power BI. So let's clean some data. In this session, I'm not going to go very deep in data cleaning because I know it's a huge concept. I'm going to cover the basic parts. So in today's session, we are just going to cover a few parts, like suppose if the first row, how should we promote the first row of any data as the column headers? Because sometimes when you load the data, it's not necessary that the first row will automatically be treated as the column header. So that will be one point we'll be talking about. Then we'll see how do we correct data type. Power BI, on the basis of first 200 rows, automatically detects the data type and assign the relevant data type to the columns, but that's not always the way we want. So you have to change as per your need. So that's what we are going to see today. Okay. Then we'll see if you have an empty row in your data set. And of course, empty rows are nothing but redundancy. And if you want to remove that redundancy, then how you are going to do that. Then we'll also see duplicate rows. If you have some duplicate rows, and especially those rows where you do not want any duplicacy to happen, like maybe transaction ID and customer ID and employee ID, there's no way you will tolerate any kind of duplicacy in these kinds of columns. So we are going to see that as well. And then comes the if any kind of intercapitalization error that you see. It's not a very good practice to have those kinds of rows. You want to trim space if you have some extra spaces here and there you see in your columns, and if you want to remove them, then how we are going to do that. So in today's video, we are going to cover these topics. We will not go in very deep and very advanced data cleaning method. We're just going to cover very basics. Okay, these are basic steps, but they are super important. You cannot ignore these steps. So this is the blank report. We are quickly going to load the data first. So I'm just going to click on get data, CSV, and then dirty cap. Okay, this is my data set, and this will take a few minutes or maybe a few seconds. Okay, so we have loaded our data in the Power Query Editor. When you load any kind of data, Power BI automatically does 3 steps. So first is nothing but source. It will tell you that how you have taken the data. So when you click on source, it will show you what was the path of my file and where it was stored and from where I have taken the data. Then there's promoted headers. So when you actually load any kind of data in Power BI automatically detects and it promotes the first row of your data set as the column headers, which is the right way to do it. So Power BI does that step for you. And then comes changed type. So on the basis of your first 200 rows, Power BI detects the data type and assign the relevant data type to each column. So that's what these 3 steps are telling you about. So first things first, I just want to change the name of this data set with cafe sales data written. So first thing, we changed the name of the data set. The second thing I see is a column which does not have any header and it doesn't look like of any relevance to me. So I just want to delete it. Okay, I want to delete the second column. What I'm supposed to do, select that column, right click. So there are 2 options. It gives you one, remove. When you see remove, it's talking about removing this column. And it says remove other columns. What will happen if you actually select this option? This column will be retained, and apart from this, other columns will be removed. Do we want that? No, we want to remove this column. So we're just going to click on remove. And yes, it will take a bunch of seconds. After that, you must have noticed the moment I clicked on remove, we got a new step in applied step, and it says that removed column. So yes, it says that you have removed one of the columns. So that was the first step that I showed you as a data cleaning part. So if you have any extra column or extra row that you do not need, just remove them. if I want to rename that step which has been stored here, so maybe if I come back later and I want to see that which column did I actually remove. So I want to rename this. I just right click on this applied step and then I'll go to rename, and then I just want to write it in such a way that it becomes easier for me to understand if I come back later. So I'm just going to write removed second column. That was one thing. Then comes, first I wanted to show that what if Power BI has not promoted the first row of the data as header, then you have to do it yourself, right? In my case, Power BI has already applied that step. But in case if it has not done, then how you are supposed to do? Under home button, if you see here, it shows use first row as headers, correct? If you click on the drop down, it says that use first row as headers, and then the second option is use headers as first row. So there are two different options. We'll not talk about the second option as of now. We just want to see the first option. So in case if Power BI has not promoted your first row as the header, you are supposed to just click on this option and then Power BI will promote this first row as the header. Let's see what uneven and what discrepancy do you see in this data set. I see that there's an empty row which I don't need, right? Empty rows are nothing but redundancy. So I just want to remove this empty row. I'll just select this row and I see there are two options. Under home again, we have two options, keep rows and remove rows under the reduce rows option. What do I want to do? I want to remove rows. So I'm just going to click on this and it says that remove top rows, remove bottom rows, remove alternate rows, remove duplicates, remove blank rows, remove errors. This is our requirement. We just want to remove the blank rows. I'm just going to click on this and this will automatically remove the blank row that we had. Yep. And the row is gone. We have removed unnecessary column, then we have removed empty row. The second thing which comes is do not want any duplicate transaction ID, because transaction ID is something that has to be unique. I do not tolerate any kind of duplicacy there, otherwise it's going to mess with the integrity of my data set. So first I'll just to be very sure, while I was having a glance that do I have any duplicate data, I saw this getting repeated somewhere. Okay, yeah. So you see 4977031, one of the transaction ID, and I see the same transaction ID getting repeated here, 4977031. Again, I do not want this. I think the whole information of that transaction ID is getting repeated here, which is something I do not want at all. So what is this? I want to remove the duplicate rows, right? Again, I will just select there, and if I just go, it shows me remove duplicates. If I just click, it says remove rows containing duplicated values in the currently selected columns. So means that if you click that, it's going to remove the duplicate row. And yep, the row has been removed. So it says that removed duplicate. So we have removed the duplicate row now. So now there's something that we are going to do, which is data type correction. Again, very important step. How are you going to recognize that what is the data type of my columns? So there are two ways to recognize the same thing. I mean, there are multiple ways, but I'll tell you the important two ways. In every column, there's a symbol here. In the left corner, you'll see a symbol that it shows ABC. Then all the columns currently shows ABC, ABC, ABC. Now, what is this ABC? You know, if I just click here, if I just click on that ABC, it will open the data type of that column. Okay, so these many data type Power BI can change into. Okay, but so currently it is in ABC, which is nothing but text, right? So means that this column is in text data type. The another way to check the data type of it is here in transform. You'll see data type, and currently it shows text. Why? Because our data type of that transaction ID is in text. Fine. Again, item here, it also shows in text. ABC here also, if I just select here, it shows text. Quantity. But so the question is, transaction ID and items are still fine. I can have them as text, but can I have quantity as text? No, I cannot. Quantities can never be in text, right? So I'm going to change the data type. Now there are three ways actually to change the data type. First, just right click, go here in data type, select this and choose whatever data type you want it to be. Second way, just click on this ABC and you'll get the bunch of options of data type and you can change in whatever you want. Third, select this column, right click, and then you will see this option change type. When you select this, then these bunch of options open. Sorry, I think by mistake I clicked something. which I didn't want to. So I'm just going to reverse this step by clicking on this red button. Okay, that was a mistake. So in my way, what is easier is just click this and go here and change. So what data type a quantity column should have? A whole number, right? So I'm just going to click on whole number because we cannot have decimal. Nobody wants a coffee in decimals, right? I can just have one coffee or two coffees like that. So I'm just going to click on whole number. So now the changing data type is in process, and you see it says changed type 1. Yes, 1, 2, 3. So now it's ABC is changed to 1, 2, 3, which means if I just click on this 1, 2, 3, what was the symbol of 1, 2, 3? It was whole numbers, right? Okay, now comes price per unit. Do you want price per unit to be a text data type? No, I want it to be, let's check. I want it to be decimal number because it can be, price can be 2.5 rupees, 3 rupees, 10.5 rupees, like that as well. So it's not necessarily always a whole number. So we can have this. Now I can have decimal number, I can have fixed decimal number, I can have whole number. I want it to be decimal number. Then our calculation will be more legit and relevant. Now we have changed the data type of price per unit as well, and what tells us that we have changed? We can see now ABC has changed to 1.2, right? And what is 1.2? 1.2 is nothing but the decimal number symbol. So yes, it tells us that we have changed the data type of price per unit. Okay, we have also changed the data type of quantity. Right, before it was ABC, the symbol showed ABC, and now it shows 1, 2, 3, which is the symbol of the whole number, and that's what we wanted the quantities data type to be. Right, now comes the next column, which is total spent. Now again, total spent, what it is, it's talking about how much money you have spent in order to buy that item, right? So now that money, it means the money can be in whole number and in a decimal number as well. So again, we are going to change this ABC, which is text, to a decimal number, right? So now what are the ways? There are 3 ways. I'm just going to follow the easy way. I'm just going to select here the data type, and then select this, and now I want the money spent should be under decimal number, right? So I just changed the data type to from text to decimal number. So notice how this ABC will change into 1.2, right? Then we have something called payment method, right? So payment method is currently in the text format, which is okay because that's what generally payment methods are in. So we do not have any problem with that data type. Then location, again, it is in text format and we are totally okay with that. And then comes transaction date, very important to deal with date. Here the transaction date column is also in text format, which we do not want, right? So what do we want it to do? We want it to change it into the date data type. So now just click on this and it shows here date, right? So we're just going to select the date. Okay, so now before we changed the data type of this column, it was ABC here, but now you see a calendar kind of symbol, and if we click, you see this shows that this calendar symbol is nothing but of date. And since we have changed the data type of this transaction dates column from text to date, that's why the symbol has changed as well, right? Okay, so we are done with dealing of data type of the columns. Okay, if you notice one thing, since back to back we have changed a lot of data types of different columns, all of these steps have been combined together and stored under this step, which is changed type. We have removed the unnecessary column, we have removed the unnecessary row, we have changed the data type, our headers are in place. So now what is the problem? The problem which I see here, if you actually have an eagle eye and if you see the problem, I just noticed something. So I see, you see this credit card, both C are in capital. But if I just notice this credit card, this card is not in the capital. Credit C is in capital, but card C is not in capital, which shows the way the payment methods are written, they are not uniform. Now you must be thinking that why to waste so much of time in just intercapitalization thing? It does not even matter. It matters if you actually are going to create a drop down out of this column. Suppose you want to create a filter where these payment methods have been shown. What do you want? You of course would want only unique values to be shown there. Now since credit card is a value which is written in 2 different ways, so these both will be shown in the slicer value, right? If I click on the drop down, what happens? Credit card is appearing twice. Credit card with the capital C in the card and another small c in the card. That is the problem which I was talking about. And similarly, it will be appearing in your slicer as well, which is not at all a right practice to have. That's why I was talking about that it's very important to have the right capitalization and intercapitalization in the names. So how are you going to change that? Select the column, go to transform. In transform, go to format. Okay, click on the format and then you'll see capitalize each word. There are multiple options like lowercase. So it says that this will make all the letters of the word in lowercase. Do we want that? No. Again, uppercase, the vice versa of that. Then comes capitalize each word. Yes, this is what we want. Just click here and you would notice that this C would again become the capital. Yep, that's what happened, right? So now this credit card and that credit card is both are written in the similar way. So now when I click on the drop down, I will just see one value. See that another redundant credit card option has been removed because now it's all written in the similar way, right? So this is done. There's one more thing I see. You see, the smoothie is written with a lot of space before this. And again, this juice has a lot of space before this, means we have unnecessary spaces given wherever we have this text column type. We have unnecessary spaces given. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select all the columns. Actually, I'm going to select all the columns, right? Yeah, and I'm just going to click on transform and again format, and I'm going to trim the space of all the columns. I'll just click on trim, and yes, the smoothie and the sandwich that we saw, it was written with a space, and a lot of space has gone now, and you do not have any kind of unnecessary space. So that was it. That was few important steps which I wanted to show in the data cleaning part. This is all we'll cover in today's session. I do not want to confuse you with a lot of things because data cleaning has a lot of steps. I just want to go very slow. I want you to take this kind of any data set. If you want, I can paste this data link in my description box. You can download it from there, and I've downloaded it from Kaggle dataset, so it's publicly available. Anybody can access that, and then you can also practice cleaning these kinds of data sets. Okay, so yeah, I hope you found this session helpful and you understood what I did, and I want you to practice. Just watching video will not do, so you have to practice on your own. Take any bad data set and try multiple ways to clean that data. If you see an empty row, just delete it. If you see an empty column, delete it. If you do not see the headers properly arranged, just promote that first row to headers and just try on your own. You know, I'm just guiding you. The practice part, you have to do it. So yep, this was it for this session, and we'll do more complicated data cleaning part in the coming sessions. So yes, study hard, and we'll meet in the next session.